Hello everyone! In today's video, we're going over how to do the granny stripe in crochet using US terms. In this video, I was using this big twist yarn in the color watermelon, as well as a 5mm crochet hook and scissors to cut off my work. Though this stitch would work well with whatever size yarn and corresponding hook that you may have. This stitch is similar to a standard granny square, though it is not worked in the round, which may make it a more beginner-friendly stitch if you want something that looks like a granny square. We're going to go ahead and get started with a slip knot, which you can do however is easiest for you. And then once we have our slip knot, we're going to start by chaining in a multiple of 3. So I'm going to go ahead and start by chaining 24, but you would just want to chain as long as you'd like your final project to be, as long as it is in a multiple of 3. And to chain, what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over and pull through the loop that's already on your hook. Again, that's yarn over and pull through the loop that's already on your hook. All right, that is 24 chains completed for me. And then once you have your desired length that is a multiple of 3, what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 additional chain. So I'm going to end up with 25 chains. And then in order to get started on row 1, what we're going to do is in the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to put a double crochet. So not counting the loop that's on our hook, we're going to skip this chain here, 2 and 3, and work into the 4th chain. So to double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert into the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So what this is going to end up being is these 3 chains that we skipped are going to act as if they are a double crochet, and then this is going to be the second one. So this is going to look as if it is 2 double crochets right next to each other. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to skip the next 2 chains, 1 and 2, and into this 3rd chain from where we just worked into, we're going to put 3 double crochets. And again, a double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert into the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we want to do that 2 more times into that exact same chain. So again, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 2 double crochets, and then the last one, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to skip the next 2 chains again, 1 and 2, and into this chain here we're going to again work 3 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, and 3. So we're just going to continue doing this until we get near the end of the row here. So we're going to always skip 2 chains, and then in the 3rd chain from the last one that we worked into, we're going to put 3 double crochets. So if you want to do that until you get to the end of the row, and then I'll meet you there and we can go over how to finish the row and turn our work. All right, I am at my last 3 chains beneath me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip 2 chains as always, but in this last chain here, I'm going to work 2 double crochets instead of 3. So just like I started over here with what looks as if they're 2 double crochets, I want to mirror that on this side and end with 2 double crochets. So skipping those 2 chains, I'm going to yarn over, insert into the last chain, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and one last one here, yarn over, insert into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in order to turn my work, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to act as if it is a double crochet. Just like we skipped 3 chains in order to start our work, that's going to act as if it is a double crochet, and this chain 3 at the beginning of each row is also going to act as if it is a double crochet. So that is the first row completed, and you'd be ready to get started on round 2. So in row 2, what we're going to do is this chain 3 here that's acting as if it is a double crochet is going to stand by itself. So whereas beneath us we have 2 double crochets, the second row is going to start and end with only 1 double crochet. So what we're going to do now is in this space right here, we're going to put a cluster of 3 double crochets. So again, that's yarn over. We're going to insert into this space here, not into this stitch, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then here's the second one, and then the third double crochet into that space. And so into each of these spaces beneath us, between the clusters of 3 double crochets, we're going to put 3 double crochets into that space. So again, we'll do a couple more together, yarn over, insert into this next space here, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we need 2 more into that space, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then 1 last one into that space, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we'll do 1 more cluster together until we get to the end of the row here. So again, 3 double crochets into this space here between the 2 clusters beneath us. So here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. So we're just going to keep doing that until we get near the end of the row. And if you want to meet me there to go over how to finish this row and how to turn our work again. All right, I've just worked my last cluster into this space beneath me here. And what I have left is I have this first double crochet that we did, as well as the chains that we skipped in order to mimic a double crochet when we started our project. So what we're going to do, since we started this row with 1 double crochet at the beginning, is we want to end this row with a double crochet. So we're going to find what is the top of that chain beneath us here, and we're going to put a double crochet into that space. So yarn over, insert into the top of that chain. It should look like a chain 3, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in order to turn our work, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we'd be ready to get started on row 3. So getting started on row 3 is going to look basically the same as row 1, though we are going to be working into the stitches and the spaces beneath us instead of into the chain. So we have this chain 3 here that's acting as if it is a double crochet. So what we need is a second double crochet here. So into this space right here, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And so these 2 right here are going to look as if they are 2 double crochets similar to the first row. So now what we're going to do is we're going to skip the cluster of 3 that is beneath us, and into this space here between the 2 clusters, we're going to put 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll do 1 more together here before we get to the end of the row. So into this space here, skipping these 3 stitches, we're going to put 3 double crochets again. Here's 1. Here's 2. And here's 3. So if you want to meet me once more near the end of the row, and we can go over how to finish the row and how to turn our work. All right, I've just put my last cluster of 3 for this row here. So what we need to do now, since we started the row with what looks like 2 double crochets, we just need to end the row the same way. So in this space here, so we have this cluster of 3 and then we have this chain 3. What we're going to do is we're just going to put 2 double crochets into that space. So 1 and 2. And in order to turn our work, we're going to chain 3, 2, and 3. And we're going to do that for whatever row that we're working on. So this is basically just going to be a repeat of these 2 rows now. So repeating row 3, and if you want to for the next row, you can go back to row 2. But it's just going to be that until you get to your desired length. So if you want to go back and use the timestamps below in order to check to see what to do, you can go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to work up a few more rows just so that we can see the stitch once a few more rows are worked up and the texture of the stitch. And I'll show you that, as well as I'll show you this compared to a standard granny square. So once more, what we're going to do for this row here, we're going to start and end with what looks like 1 double crochet, and into each of these spaces we're going to work those clusters of 3 double crochets. And then once we get to the row after that, what we're going to do is we're going to start and end with what looks like 2 double crochets, and again in the spaces between the clusters you want to put 3 double crochets. So again, feel free to use the timestamps down below, and I'll meet you once I have a few more rows worked up. I've gone ahead and I've worked up a few more rows of the granny stripe here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this standard granny square here so that we can look at them side by side. So you can see that the granny square is starting in the middle and then working its way out. So not all of the clusters are going in the same way. So in that way, if you struggle with working in the round, a granny stripe may be more beginner friendly and easier for you as you're only working from left to right and back again. A granny stripe might also be nice if you are looking to make a standard size blanket, because unless you are altering a standard granny square in any way, it is of course going to make a final project that is a perfect square. Whereas with the granny stripe, you can make something that is more rectangular, as more blankets are. And it would also make a nice, more lightweight blanket than some other stitches. As you can see, it has the holes in there. That's going to allow for more air to come through. So I'm just going to finish my work here. So you can see I'm going to be finishing on the row that starts with 1 and ends with 1. So I'm just going to find the top of this chain 3 and put my last double crochet in. And then the way that I like to finish off any project is just to chain 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors and cut off, pull my hook up, and pull tight. And I did also want to point out as well, so if you are struggling at the beginning and the end of a row with knowing whether or not you're starting with 1 or 2, the only thing that you'd have to do then is you could look right beneath you. So if you are working here and you can see that there's this cluster of 2 that's beneath you, you know that this row is going to have only 1, and vice versa. If you are starting at, say, this row and you can see that there's 1 beneath you, you know that you are going to be starting with what looks like 2 double crochets. But this is my final project. The only thing I'd have left to do is I'd need to weave this where I just cut off back into my project, as well as this over here, which is the excess from my slip knot. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, or if there are any other stitches or tutorials that you'd like to see in a future video. Thank you.